We were traveling through the Cascade Mountains of Oregon in search of adventure, and we got quite a thrill driving our pack trains across this flimsy-looking swinging bridge, suspended high over the river. Soon we came out on a little plain, and it was here that our small fox terrier, Peter, went prospecting on his own and ran to earth the original subway builder. A little fellow, but gee whiz, what a digger. With such shovels for hands and feet, is it any wonder that this mole can dig his way out of sight before you can speak his scientific name, Talpis capanus. A little while later, Peter found another burrow, the home of Mr. Badger, also a wonderful excavator. See how he loosens the earth with his front paws and tosses it out with his hind ones? A living steam shovel. Watch him whirl about to measure the depth and size of his hiding place, pausing now and then to give us the once-over. Mr. Badger is normally a mild-mannered creature, but when driven to it, he's a desperate and powerful fighter, capable of handling several dogs at a time. So Peter decides to give his attention to a more harmless-looking group of strangers. We knew them at once as skunk kittens and kept as far away as possible. But not so with Peter. Used to playing with the kittens at home, he rushed forward and got a great surprise. After the onslaught, he stood still and barked. Woof, what an eyeful. Will I ever be the same again? Not having a fumigator in our packs, we left the beautiful little animated perfume factories huddled together near their burrow and passed on into the foothills. On a rock overlooking our trail, we came upon a little creature that seemed to greatly resent our presence in this mountain sanctuary. It was a grouchy old woodchuck, and no matter how hard we tried to be polite, she just mooched about and made faces at us. She wouldn't even allow her small son to come near us, although the little fellow longed to make friends. When childlike he persisted, she gave him a good spanking and led him home by the ear. On our way up the mountain, we ran across a rare find, a bobcat family. Mrs. Lynx was taking her afternoon stroll among the trees, and it took a lot of patience and courage to get pictures of that ferocious and dangerous cat in her wild home. Bobcats have a great reputation as hunters, and although we were forced to admire her speed and expertness in obtaining a meal, all our sympathy went to the poor little orphan babies left in their nest without a mother. Yet such is the law of nature. And then we got a most unusual picture, one seldom photographed, the bobcat at play. How much like the petted cat in our homes. A few minutes later, baby Lynx was located among the bushes. She scrambled out as we approached and hissed at us with angry defiance, screaming, "Keep away or I'll scratch your eyes out." The only reason she didn't fluff her tail was, well, that's why she was a bobcat. She further declined with kittenish thanks to ride on the back of a patient mule, but showed her preference for the boss and the saddle. Ouch, that's my arm, you darn little rascal. In self-defense, the boss was forced to button her up, claws and all, in his old sweater. Lucky that the boss got away with the kitten when he did. For suddenly, Mr. Lynx showed up, and we managed to get some rare shots of him, enabling us to bring back to civilization an amazing likeness of this prize of the Oregon mountains. After fastening to the saddle the body of the large bobcat, which we secured for the museum, we moved onward around the mountain to connect with the home trail. On the hillside, the old scout discovered tracks. And just at that moment, Peter dashed into a hole beneath a fallen tree and immediately came out again like a whirlwind. "Gosh almighty," cried one of our men. "What's in there to scare the pup that way? Stand by, fellas, I'm going in." And so he crawled into the hole and in a few minutes squirmed forth, grasping in both hands the terrible monster, which proved to be a sleepy little bear cub, weak from hunger. Our examination of the tracks showed that its mother had been gone for several days, and we decided to keep the abandoned child. Companionship was what the youngster craved. He even insisted in snuggling close to Peter, his natural enemy, while we made a basket ready so he might ride home in comfort. When he got his first taste of milk at the farm, he came to life in a hurry and almost swallowed the bottle in his eagerness to get his fill. "Hey, wait a minute, mister, I want another bottle." He gurgled and gulped until, unable to hold another drop, he fell to the ground to roll and squirm with joy. Upon being introduced to Bobby, it was a case of love at first sight. Even the presence of the dog could not interrupt the salutation. The cub was adopted by the children and followed them everywhere about the farm. It was tiresome work for such a baby to keep up, but persistence was his middle name. The terrier became very jealous. Oh, he simply couldn't stand the rivalry and rushed in to teach the cub he must take second place. Poor misguided Peter. He started something he couldn't get away with. The youngster knew some clinches that gave Peter a big surprise. At the end of each round, the cub found a soft spot to rest. But when the bell rang, he was up and going as strong as ever. He sailed into Peter again and again, delivering some terrific wallops, as well as a good old-fashioned bear hug now and then. What if it wasn't just according to Hoyle? At the end of the final run, was he tired? Well, I guess. But say, you should have seen Peter.